And tonight we are talking about a couple things actually. We have some Arrow announcements to talk about. Not that big actually, not a real lot of Arrow announcements to talk about. We have some Blue Underground announcements. Now those are much bigger. There are some big Blue Underground announcements to talk about. And credit goes definitely to listen to the Shockwaves podcast here actually today and partially last night as well. And we've got stuff to talk about when it comes to Twilight time as well. Hey, Danuch, welcome, man. Because, hey, well, things have changed in the last few days. And hey there, Chris. I'm not quite sure how to take it. So we'll go with that. Hey there, Alan. And we'll talk about everything. Where do you want to start first, guys? Blue Underground or Twilight time? Because both of these were some pretty big announcements. Who knows the Blue Underground 4K announcements that are right there, and the TV show. All right, so Blue Underground, the William Lustig from Blue Underground. Hey there, Frankie, was on Shockwaves, and unlike some people that'll come on there, and he'll, they'll say, okay, at the end of the video, at the end of the thing, I'll drop a couple hints, or I'll let you know a couple things. No, Lustig was pretty open about what's coming out, and especially a lot of it. And we've already seen two, like shown there today, actually. But apparently, what he's doing right now is Lustig is doing 8 4K films in total this year. So there are 8 Blue Underground 4Ks coming out in 2020. Well, all things. Hey there, Dave. Fingers crossed, everything goes okay. We know from like online there that the 2 of those are the New York Ripper, of course. I always show my Blue Underground stuff. I got it right here, actually right beside me. Will be a New York Ripper and House by the Cemetery. Both those are coming to 4K. Now those were recently done with the lenticular Blu-ray remasters. William Lustig has fallen in love with 4K. People often ask me on here why Lustig is doing these movies or doing these again, and not doing like some, not going in for new films. Lustig isn't Blue Underground is a company, and Lustig himself, he's a fan, and what I mean he's a real fan of films. So when he puts himself into a film, it's a film that he loves, because he knows he's going to have to spend a lot of time watching it and remastering it and getting features set up for it. And a lot of the films that he got that are in his collection, the Blue Underground films like Maniac and a Final Countdown, films like that, those are films that Bill Lustig actually really loves, that mean a lot to him. So when he goes and puts out a 4K edition of a film, or a lenticular, like special edition of a film, he's not doing it just for the money. He's doing it because he actually loves these films. The Prowlers of Thought. Now the ones that have been mentioned, Weldon, and I'll tell you right now, Vigilante is coming in 4K. So that was a surprise. Final Countdown, which is the one that he says is probably going to make him the most money, is coming in 4K. That's definitely done for the collector. So the Final Countdown is going to be coming in 4K. Of course, like I mentioned before, New York Ripper, House by the Cemetery, and last but not least, of the ones that I know, it's Daughters of Darkness. So Daughters of Darkness is also coming in 4K as well. And he was also asked if about that they'd heard that like Nicholas Redding was going to do like a Maniac, like another reboot of Maniac, basically another remake of Maniac. And said, so is there another Maniac film coming out? Because there was the 2010, 2006, whatever, or like Elijah Wood Maniac. Of course, there's original Joe Spinell one. Like, was there another one coming? And basically, he said, no, we're not doing another Maniac movie. HBO has commissioned a series. So that was huge news. So there is a Maniac series coming. I'd say HBO Max. he wasn't sure, but I'd guess it's going to be HBO Max. And I think Nicholas Redding is going to be doing the series. So Maniac, the Joe Spinell series, the movie Maniac, is being made into a TV series. Obviously, a hard R TV series, but a TV series nonetheless. And that excites me because I'm finding a lot of stuff that I'm liking right now. There's a lot of good TV stuff coming out right now. Don't know if you want to see. Well, Maniac is already out in pristine condition. And there's the thing. Do you want to see all that sweat and stuff? He said that Maniac was really a labor of love for him to get in 4K, and he said it's really a big upgrade from the release that even the latest one that I got. And he said with the Maniac, it was the sound on Maniac, because when they're doing the 4K releases, they're going back in, hey Cinematech, and they're not just going in and remastering, because they are going in like this is Maniac right here, okay? Hey there, Q. Hey there, Brian. Hey there, Thomas. So this one here, this is like, a 4K remaster, Blu-ray. So what they do is when you do it for Blu-ray, you have to downgrade it to a 1080p. So when they redid this, they had to realize that quickly that 4K is going to show more. So they had to actually go back in and remaster sections of Maniac and Blu-ray for 4K. And while they were doing that, if you're an audiophile, this is going to be exciting to you. They actually gave them Dolby Atmos sound. So there's a Dolby Atmos soundtrack on all these releases. So yeah, New York Rip is coming out in 4K. House by the Cemetery, Zombie and Maniac are already there. And Zombie was one that I've got a lot of copies of Zombie. And I do have this one right here. And I was thinking hard, like, do I want to go and get a 4K Zombie when I've already got like so many copies of it out there? And then I went online and looked at the reviews of not exactly the same Venom, but yeah, I'm this apparently from all the reviews that I've seen on Zombie, the 4K release of Zombie, it's amazing. It is an incredible upgrade, even from the most recent upgrade. So that's big news there. I can't see, because I don't know. One thing I don't know for sure, and I don't know if this is going to have the soundtrack with it, like in the 4K release. And to look at this cover, could you honestly get rid of this slipcover? I could not. Oh, also before going any farther with the Blue Underground stuff, I guess I should get you updated on some Vinegar Syndrome news. So this is going to be like super exciting for some of you guys that missed out. But Vinegar Syndrome announced that when the sale starts, so be ready for when that sale starts, by the way, because if you initially missed out on a couple titles, they're coming back. There's a few left, not a lot, but there's a few left. There's a few Evil Town that are coming back, and I think the other one might be Vice Academy. I'm trying to get to it, but I think I'm correct. I think it's Vice Academy. I think Vice Academy and Evil Town, they found a few copies of each of those. Not a lot, just a few. So if you missed out on either one of those films, and each one of these are not ones that are going to get standard releases, this is going to be your last time to get it. So Evil Town and Vice Academy VSA releases, by the way, when they were cleaning up and getting stuff ready in their archive, they found a few copies. They will be right there during the sale. So They're not going to be put up until the sale. So when that happens, big deal. Apparently nobody is talking about it here though, because nobody's mentioned anything since I said it. It is now obvious. Oh, got to be Joe Spinell, man. Got to go Joe Spinell. See, Rob G is right. Pale Blood's actually a cool movie. I so hate when I go to open up this so I can see your messages and I get like an ad instead. So, for those that don't know, uh, question: Isn't City of the Living Dead and Gates of Hell the same movie? Or am I? So, well, the Gates of Hell is a trilogy. Uh, like there's City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and House by the Cemetery. Now, I think that City of the Living Dead went under the title Gates of Hell, or like the cut version went under the title Gates of Hell in one place. Um, but the actual like the whole three films together are now called the Gates of Hell trilogy. So those three films together, the Gates of Hell trilogy, and Gates of Hell title was usually a moniker that was put on a cut version of the film that came out back in the day. Hopefully that helps. What happened? All the messages were here and now they've disappeared. So let's get rid of this and open it up again. I'm missing your messages, guys, by the way, guys, because YouTube is a pain in the butt. So I got to go to my channel and open it up. On an expensive day, I had to purchase. Oh, got a new phone. It was the iPhone 11. I hate the fact that you can't buy, like you can't go to your phone company, here in Canada, you can anyway. You can't go to your phone company anymore and get like, $0 phones and, you get a contract. Doesn't happen anymore. Oh yeah, I'm going to show Venom. Don't worry. It's not Venom that you're thinking of. Like this is not the Venom the movie with Tom Hardy. This is an older like 1970s like horror film Venom. Are they ever going to release Mr. Ice Cream Man? I don't know what that one is, Mr. Ice Cream Man actually. But for anybody that got these, like these are great releases. These are excellent releases with soundtracks and tons of special features, and so having to like buy these again, that's gonna be like I don't know, man, because this was, but I do want them. What are my thoughts on Spider-Man 3? I don't mind it actually. It's way better than Amazing Spider-Man 2. We'll leave it at that one. They made him put in characters he didn't like. Hey there, culture training. So, feature-wise on this one here, for anybody that doesn't have it, by the way, it is stacked. There are 2 audio commentaries on there with Lustig, and one with them has Tom Savini on there as well. There's Return to the Scene, the crime, which is amazing, by the way, like footage. There's an interview with Carol Monroe. There's an interview with Tom Savini, Dark Notes, the Maniac Man interview with songwriter Michael Cimbello. He talks about that actually, doing the interview with Michael Cimbello. The Joe Spinell story, which runs around 50 minutes long. It's actually really good. Mr. Robbie, Maniac 2, promo reel, Maniac publicity, and Maniac controversy. So all that's on here as well. I'm sadly gonna miss. What's better, Hammer or Universal? They're very. You would like to say they're very different. But I think one Hammer would not be where it is without Universal and kind of without Amicus as well. But both are amazingly entertaining. I can sit down and watch like a bunch of Hammer and a bunch of Universal movies, and like in a row. And it's just that Hammer would eventually have more, but they'd have the blood. Like Hammer is universal with blood and eventually more sex and nudity and stuff. Definitely not going to double dip. Are you sure? Because apparently this picture on the 4K release of this is incredible, like beyond what I thought. It might make me. It actually might make me. But I thought I'd show a couple of my Blue Underground titles, and after that we're going to talk about Twilight Time as well, because there's been some confusing news come out about Twilight Time, and I want to give my 2 cents on it, and the timing of it, and the eventual timing of it. Now these here are Blu-ray discs. They're 4K restorations. They're like, so they did 4K restorations, but these are on blue. These are on Blu-ray. I'll open up one for you. I'll show you. So they're pretty thick. Like, so when you open it up, you get like the regular Blu-ray release, and then you get the Blu-ray special feature disc. There's a ad for the comic book. Oh yeah, these aren't 4K discs. These are Blu-ray discs, so they're playable on Blu-ray players. There's a big booklet on the inside as well, and there is the original motion picture soundtrack there. So it is a really cool release. And there's like a ton of like stuff on here. Like even shows the I love this when they show the picture of like the Fangoria that had zombie on the cover. Kind of takes me back actually. So this was like a 3-disc release. I'm glad. So you can see these are actually fairly thick when it comes to like the release, and the art, like you can. I could switch the cover around on this one to give it like the original zombie release, but I do kind of like this. I haven't heard anything on them releasing the washing machine. Actually, Bill Lustig said during the interview that he's very, very careful with anything that he gets. Exactly, Dave. He likes to buy things when he can in perpetuity. So, like, obviously, he owns the rights to all the rights to, like, for life, for Maniac, for Zombie, in North America. Like, obviously, there's outside rights. Now, for movies like Maniac and that, I think he owns the worldwide rights for those. You know, it's his film. Incredible film, by the way. Brutal, though. Hey there, Dungeon. What do you think? Now, before I go any further with the Blu-ray thing, Blue Underground thing, I got to say this right now. Who has been keeping up with the Twilight Time drama that's been going on? So, my last video here, I talked about Twilight Time and the fact that they were going under after quite a long time, actually. But now, news comes out. First, there's 2 releases. I get like emails from Screen Archives. Is there anybody that's ever ordered from Screen Archives? You sign up for it. Screen Archives sent out an announcement basically saying that they'd bought in Twilight Time, they bought the rights to certain Twilight Time, the films by Twilight Time, they'd bought in Twilight Time, they'd bought the website, that Twilight Time would be coming back indefinitely, that Twilight Time would kind of not be going under. And then they released another announcement that removed the website thing and removed a couple of the other things and said, we can't give you any more information until the 1st of July. So we all know that June 30th was supposed to be the last day for Twilight Time. And some people are saying, so did they just buy up the movies to Twilight Time and sell out the rest of the movies on their website? Or have they actually bought Twilight Time? So my take on this is, and you guys can give me your thoughts too, because I'm sure some of you guys have been reading up on this as well, that they do own Twilight Time. 100% own Twilight Time, but that doesn't start until July 1st. Will there be new movies coming from this new Twilight Time label as owned by Screen Archives? I'd pretty much bet on it that there will be new releases coming from the new Twilight Time. Hey there, 4K man. But they said too much initially, I think. Especially saying that over about the website and all that too. Because that stuff that they're probably not supposed to say until the rights run out from the current owner. So they had to kind of like pull back, and obviously the current owner is probably thinking, I'm trying to sell off as much Twilight Time stuff as I can right now. So with you guys coming out with your announcement, and the possibility that some of these titles, and maybe a lot of them, are no longer going to be like 3,000 limited. There's going to be more coming out. Could hurt our sales. Our final sale. That's my thoughts on it. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on it. Oh, Wolfman, we're talking about Twilight Time right now, and the resurrection of Twilight Time. So that's what I take from the whole situation, is that the guy that runs Twilight Time now is having like the going out of business sale, and obviously he wants to hopefully sell off as much as he possibly can, if there's any debts that are occurred or anything like that, or definitely just for cash flow. He wants to be able to sell as many Twilight Time releases as he can. Screen Archives has bought the rights to Twilight Time, and the website, the name, some of the films and stuff like that. But he doesn't want them. I don't think that he wants them talking about that until July 1st, because after that, then he doesn't have to worry anymore. There's no sale going on. So if there's any titles that are going to be re-released or anything like that, I got Danuch there got me a title, and thank you, by the way, because I was so worried I was going to miss out on that. And I got 3 coming myself from Twilight Time too. And I don't think that some people were upset. I don't think it's just a pure money grab. I did think it's a pure money grab initially. Trust me, listen to the Shockwaves interview. It's really good. I'm always giving you suggestions for podcasts. Just to this, Pure Cinema. Those are ones you gotta listen to every time because they're excellent. And Shockwaves does a really great job, and they did a William Lustig interview, which you really gotta check out. Just trust me on this one; it will make you want to get those Blu-rays. Yep, Vigilante, The Final Countdown, Dodge the Darkness, and of course we now know Maniac. The New York Ripper, and as well as House by the Cemetery. And don't forget a Maniac TV series. No, all the Twilight Time movies are Twilight Time films. Screen Archives has a lot of different movies on their films. But Screen Archives is probably the best company that could have bought Twilight Time out, because Screen Archives obviously, although they're called Screen Archives, they do deal a lot. They sell a lot of soundtracks and vinyl and cinema and audio. So if you're going to have somebody, hey there, Mark, you're going to have somebody take over a movie company, a movie label that was strongly for audiophiles, then have it be taken over by somebody else, by another group of people that are also audiophiles, and that's Screen Archives. So it's definitely a match made in heaven, in my opinion. But I want to know your thoughts on it, because you guys have stayed pretty quiet so far. And what do you think? Resurrected is 50% off sale going on now. There we go, another sale going on right now. Well, tonight, Mark, we're talking about Blue Underground's like recently announced 4K releases, and also that Twilight Time has been bought uh, by uh, by Screen Archives. I think I might have a point as like you got Sunshine off Twilight Time, which doesn't seem to fit their other titles. I have not ordered directly from Blue Underground. That's one thing that I can't say that I have. Okay, let me check something here. Just trying to see here. Oh, the Red Wind production one? This one here? I don't know, maybe it's one that did in correlation with them. But if that's not a Twilight Time release, it looks so much like a Twilight Time release. I would have said it was. Without even thinking, I would have said it was like. Okay, here we go. Red Wind Productions is a sister label of Twilight Time. So they're just like they're another. So it's basically Shout Factory, Scream Factory, um, Twilight Time, Red Wind. So it is Twilight Time. It's just a sister label. What kind of phone do I have? I have an iPhone 10, actually, the iPhone 10, not the 11, not the fancy 11. But It's going to be a long time before I get another phone. Blue Underground. I haven't. I've never heard of a Blue Underground sale that I know of. Not from Blue Underground themselves. Yeah. What do we know what that is yet, though? What's coming from Severn on Monday? Do I like Elvis? Yeah, because I'm named after Elvis, for one, um, and Roustabout was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. So yeah, Amazon tends to be a good place for me to get my Blue Underground stuff. That's where I usually get that, unless of course now if I am in Ontario, I go straight to Bay Street Video. Final purchase Almond Blu-ray box set. Nice. $39 is a great price for that, Mark. Have I seen Malabimba? Not the new release, but yes, I do. I have seen Malabimba. It's a fun film. I like it anyway. It's one of those that something big. Do you think that, Daniel, that it could be the announcement of the rumored, well, highly rumored Black Emmanuel set? Do you think that maybe uh, with the Vinegar Syndrome sale coming in now next weekend, that Severin, who are having a sale in June, by the way, they're having a June sale, um, will be doing like we'll be doing like we're doing the big Black Emmanuel box set for their sale, because they usually do have something for the sale. You heard it could be the Andy Milligan set. Is that ready? Because we forget sometimes that they've been working on some of these sets for a while. Well, Savage Dawn be 50% off. Um, Usually, the best way to tell if something's going to be 50% off 4K is to go back 3 months. So if you go, if it's before, if it's in the last 2 months, for instance, probably not. But if it's within 3 months, then it's usually on sale. I'll be surprised. I'm surprised that tonight more people aren't talking about the Twilight time thing, because I thought that was going to be the majority of the conversation. Yeah, 4K players do play. Thanks, Mary. Do play DVD and Blu-ray. Same as like a Blu-ray player will play DVD and all that. Yes, please hit the like button. It really helps out a lot. And I gotta really thank you guys, because the amount of likes on my last couple videos were incredibly. It had made me happy. I don't know Digiview Entertainment. I have to look into them. I like Andy Milligan stuff. I mean, you gotta like Andy Milligan to. But I Fleshpound on 42nd Street, which is one Vinegar Syndrome put out, was a great Andy Milligan film. Thanks, Chris. You rock too. Vinegar Syndrome sales. So we know now. I think we can be pretty sure that Night Train to Terror is going to get a slip and coming. And so if nobody's got Night Train to Terror, if you got Night Train to Terror and you want to get a slip for that, I think we're pretty sure there's going to be a slip for Night Train to Terror. And God, there's another movie too that they showed that there's definitely going to be a slip for, but I can't remember the name of it right now. Punkfication. Thanks, Daniel. That's the one. What would I do if you weren't here, man? Screen Archives. Screen Archives is. Have you looked at the shipping cost 4K between Screen Archives and Twilight Time? Twilight Time's shipping is higher than Screen Archives by a bit, actually. Some people said that they know, like that the Vinegar Syndrome announcements have been leaked, and I have purposely tried to stay away from that leak. So I haven't looked too much into the announcements, because I'm worried that I'm going to come across the leak. You did Dungeon. See, Dungeon. I took the Twilight Time movies that I had in my Twilight Time basket, and I took them in the Screen Archive basket, right? So I did both of them up with shipping, and the Screen Archives releases, at the time at least, were more expensive than the on-sale Twilight Time releases. But when I did the shipping up with Twilight Time releases, and then I did the shipping up for the Screen Archive order, the Screen Archive order was about $10 cheaper, even though the movies were more expensive. So there was a difference in the shipping. Because I wanted to get directly from Twilight Time. I wanted to go directly from them. Only about three, say. So I don't know what's like with a lot more titles, but I only bought 3 titles, and that's based on three. That's based on 3 regular Blu-rays. I don't know, maybe it's where you're located at too, because where I'm at, like, it was like $25. I haven't picked up anything 88 films in a long time, Cinematheque, and the reason for that is initially I had planned to be in Morocco by September. And I just planned, okay, I'm going to do a quick trip to London in October, and I'll do my my October buys from there. Now, obviously, that's not look like it's going to happen anytime in the near future. Yeah, this is a huge difference, isn't it? See, that's because you're in Toronto, man. But so you're close to a border. It's not going that far. Me and Death Bomb. I'm not sure if Death Bomb's on here tonight. We did a trade, right? So his stuff had to come from Los Angeles, and I had to go like, I think like 3 or 4 different, like when you do the tracking thing, because we gave each other the tracking numbers. the lake goes to three or four different places in Los Angeles, and then it gets to Ontario. See, when it gets to Ontario, that would be like almost a destination for you. But for me, it's like it's got to go to Ontario, then it's got to go to Halifax, then it's got to come to Sydney, then it'll go to North Sydney, and can be a bit of a bigger journey. So yeah, if it was $11, man, I would have loaded up on Twilight Time releases. Yeah, I would have definitely loaded up on Twilight Time releases. It would have been that price. But I'm getting the ones right now, I think, that I want the most. There's a few that I would love to have had. Like there's some westerns that I really wanted from Twilight Time. Thanks. I wish we're staying inside. We're staying pretty safe. Which slip? Oh yeah, that is the. I feel your pain because I'm going to be moving to Morocco, and obviously going from Nova Scotia to Morocco and taking look at what's behind me, man. Uh, taking this, it's not going to be easy. Join button. I wouldn't want people to pay that's it's a good nice idea, but I wouldn't want people to have to pay like a monthly fee or feel like they have to pay money to come to the channel. I want people to be able to come in there and not have to worry about like that type of stuff. More than likely, Cinematheque. It's probably gonna have to go. Well, we're gonna have to talk to a family because obviously this is gonna be expensive. It's probably go by boat. It's probably gonna go by boat. So I'm gonna take a lot of my stuff and just start. I'm gonna start like every time when the borders open up again and Hinge starts to go back. I do have a Patreon actually, but and my better half is always telling me I should promote it more, but I'm not good at promoting stuff like that, which I should be because I went to school for that. I'm I'm actually a social media like that's what I do. That's what I used to anyway, and what I was good at. But when it comes to promoting my own stuff, I'm not so good at that. Pen post not nice work. So what I'm going to do for a lot of it, I definitely should review more movies. And I do want to get to reviewing some stuff as well. Yeah, I'm going to be getting some insurance. So one of the things that I'm doing, and let's see if I can find it. No, it's upstairs. So I got these big like uh, binders, right? Of and so I'm taking the movies out, and I'm putting the Blu-rays and DVDs into binders, and the I'll be taking some of the bigger sets and stuff like that. You're Batman. Um, and I'll be taking some of the bigger sets and packing them in like suitcases and stuff like that. But for like regular releases and stuff like this, they'll probably go like packed in a kind of in a waterproof container, and they'll be going sans the films to it'll take about a month or so to get there. But the movies themselves will be going in binders with me. That way I want to make sure because I can't take the chance that I can get another case. I can if I really got to I can go online. I can copy off a cover, but I can't replace some of the films that I got here because some of these are to print. So I'm going to be taking like a lot of my stuff, especially a lot of my collection, my Screen Factory and all that stuff on over to. I don't have enough insurance on there. I'd have to like get this stuff. I was going to do it in St. John's, but I got to get it all. I got to get it appraised. Yeah, that Russ Marset's going with me. I'm not even have to take the disc out or anything. That's just going to go with me. Well, the same way that you would bring pets anywhere else is bring them on the plane with you. I think there's going to be three of us on the plane. There's one pet led per person, so there you go. Oh yeah, 5 star. I'm moving to Morocco eventually. I'm going there. My better half. That's where she's from, and I want to do some. I'm going to be doing some teaching there, some film teaching stuff like that. So it'll be fun. Only thing is I don't know French. That's going to be the hardest part. I will continue to make videos in Morocco, as well as keeping up uh, my, uh, my podcast, which is eventually coming down the road. That'll be another thing I'm doing as well. So for those that are unaware, I'm eventually going to be doing a podcast. It's going to be called the Cinema, same as this here, and I will be helping to my better half, better. I mean, like better than she was before, definitely. Knock on wood. But because yeah, she got sick for a while, and because like if there's any like when something like that comes in, yeah, and her immune system's already like is compromised a bit. She gets sick like pretty easily, so she has to be careful. Casablanca. There is a Rick's place in Morocco, actually. I wondered about that dungeon because I was thinking, if there's not a Rick's place in Morocco, I'm doing that. I'm making that happen. And Hind was like, I don't think there's a Rick's place in Morocco. So she asked her sister, because her sister lives in Casablanca, right? That's where my better half was born at. She was born in Casablanca. That she was like, yes, there is a Rick's place. I'm like, damn it. No, actually, it's going to be in a smaller space. We have a condo. So, but it's going to be done differently. Thanks, Leroy. She's feeling a bit better now, like than she was before, definitely. Um, it's been a it's been an interesting journey with that. I'm hoping like to pick it up through French films and the fact that I'm going to be right into I'll be shoved right into the atmosphere as well, and that's the best way to learn a language is go over and kind of just put yourself in there. Probably not as much as you think, really. I would love to get a film canister from Vinegar Syndrome. Unfortunately, the shipping for the film canisters is unfortunately exorbitant, and it is so hard and so expensive for them to get the canisters over here to Canada that when people asked for them to bring them over for conventions, it was too expensive for them to bring canisters over to the conventions. So it wouldn't have been profitable for them to bring canisters over to the convention. I'm missing some of your messages here. Don't worry, I'll get. And yeah, it's just an empty canister, which has had a movie in it. Or there be a connection between your podcast and these shows. Same. Yeah. Well, so basically, Dave, what I'm doing is I will eventually be doing the podcast, and I'll have guests on here. Um, Guests, like Danuch, 13 Wolfman, Brian, Cubic Lover, Michelle, a lot of people like that come on here, and the Colletts, and a bunch of other people. I haven't really got everything worked out on guests for which one yet, but I'm gonna have different guests that are from this channel and have channels of their own on the podcast. It's gonna be an audio podcast. I don't think I'm gonna go with the video one at first. We'll see. And it's going to have different topics on collecting each time. So we can be talking about Criterion, we can talk about Bergman, we can talk about like Vinegar Syndrome or Kung Fu films, and Leroy's on there, and a lot of stuff like that. So it's going to be it's definitely going to be like different than I want it to be kind of different enough to be what's already out there, because there are some amazing podcasts out there right now, and there's a proliferation of them. So I just want to do something that's going to go kind of hand in hand with the channel. Um, how the podcast is going to come about? Well, there's certain things that I have to get for the podcast, so I will be running some special videos on here that are going to deal with more adult cinema, and that is not adult does not always mean X-rated, but it can. And that's going to be called the Cult of Cinema After Dark. And Cult of Cinema After Dark are going to be special super chat ones, because obviously if I'm talking about films like Taboo or any of that type of stuff, then those videos are demonetized like immediately. So for those there like questions and stuff will be done through through super chat way, and anything that is got during that time period will be used to buy stuff for the podcast. Um, exactly. So we'll be talking about that dungeon, and I am actually I've already been researching some of those videos. So eventually, when I've got all the research done, you'd be surprised how much research has to go into that. A lot more than you would think, and a lot more than for regular films. Stop motion is something that's actually kind of exciting for me, because when I was in school, oh God, let's go right back. When I was in high school, I took film, and one of the things that I took was a stop motion animation class, and it was around the time that the Ritz crackers commercial. I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't going to remember, but there's a Ritz cracker commercial that was out at the time, and it was heralded for like its stop motion animation and its kind of ingenuity. So they gave us each like these 60 millimeter cameras, and we had to make like a stop motion animation, like a short stop motion animation film. And if you've ever done it before, you got like these like Play-Doh type characters, something like that, and you got the camera, and you're shooting like 16 or 32 frames, and then you kind of move slightly, and you're shooting 32 more frames, and you're moving slightly, and then you're shooting, and to get the kind of the illusion of movement. I definitely want to talk about like stop motion animation down the road, and I know that one of the topics that I want to do in Morocco is on that. You saw Crimes of Passion for the first time. It's a good film, man. It's Ken Russell. I mean, Ken Russell's kind of one of those uniquely. I find for a lot of people, Ken Russell's either going to be a take or leave type of guy, because The Lair of the White Worm, Gothic, Crimes of Passion, they're not exactly the kind of these mainstream films that like a whole audience, every audience is going to get into. Read 2 comments above. More adult films that don't involve sexual nudity, but also just issues that kids and teens deal like with old age. Yeah, I'll be definitely dealing with stuff like that. The the Leroy Green mentioning Crimes of Passion is actually a really good example of a type of film that I might look at on Occult Cinema After Dark. Or The Devil's Friends. So that's another one that would suit more along that line, because I could go deeper into the discussion. Anything that I do when it comes to Occult Cinema After Dark, and I will be doing anything from Pretty Peaches to the Taboo Quadrology, and I'm actually looked into, and I think I'm going to do one on American Taboo, which has a fascinating storyline and a fascinating history behind it as well. So if you don't know what those are, there was an adult miniseries done, a 4-part miniseries called American Taboo, and it was unique. No, I didn't see your question, Cinematech. I do apologize. Uh, it's their first Jolly set. No, but they have been putting out like some foreign releases, like in the last little while, and they did mention recently that they had picked up a lot of foreign releases in the last year. So there's going to be a lot more coming out. There's going to be another Italian set coming out, by the way, Jelly set, another Forgotten Jelly set coming out. There is a Spanish horror set coming out. Stuff like Secta Sinistra and Corruption of Chris Miller, both are Spanish horror films. Of course, like their earlier stuff, like Count Dracula's Great Love, is a Spanish horror film as well. As far as Italian stuff, I think they put it. Yes, they have put it more, but I can't off the top of my head remember it right now. We'd also look at the Italian adult film directors. Yes, actually, Damiano, guys like that. I'll definitely be looking into some of their stuff, and some of the actors as well, like Jamie Gillis and Kay Parker and people like that, because I want to stretch out and do as much as I can on this channel. Obviously, those type of videos take more work than a regular video. Like this here takes. I've seen Intruder. Yes, I love it actually. Intruder is one of my favorite films. It was done by, of course, the guy that would go later on do Hostel 3, Spiegel. But I'm a huge fan of it. It's a great setting. Like it's very claustrophobic. But there's a film. Oh God, what's the name of it? I think I see Gutenberg in it too. It might have been called Cornered or something like that. It's not as good as Intruder, but it just gives that kind of vibe. You can watch them as a double feature. Gothic is supposed to be a bizarre fever dream. I love Gothic. I don't have the new Blu-ray release though. See, off the beaches, Leroy, for now. What are my thoughts on Hostel Prey? I didn't mind it. I mean, when I first saw Hostel, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it, it disturbed me, like to the core, man. It got me to the core. But I when I went back and watched it again, I really got what Eli Roth was doing. And I do like the first two better. I think that they're better than the third one, like in my personal opinion. But I don't mind the third one for what it is. It's a decent film. Is Intruder like the French film? No, no. Intruder is it's a slasher film, mystery slasher. I'm not much for mystery. Trust me, I figured it out. But basically, it's set in this kind of like grocery store, over this on a grocery store, and there is a killer that is killing people in the grocery store. You'll see directors like Sam Raimi and Ted Raimi in the film. I think Renee Estevez is in the film as well, and you get a special cameo by a little guy by the name of Bruce Campbell showing up in Intruder. It's actually a really, really good film. That's when Chris has seen it. It's a slasher film, and it is highly recommended if you haven't seen it. I would love to see a really good release of that, a new release coming out of that one. I got to see. That's the thing. I'm worried Megan is missing is going to stick with me too much, uh, because I know the basic plot line behind it. Well, 5 star. It looks like the Twilight Time news right now is that looks like Screen Archives is going to buy out Twilight Time. Well, it's been announced, but then it got unannounced. And then they said you can't say anything till July 1st. Every teen girl. That's the thing. I got teens, man. The news. That's the hard part with me. When you're a dad, some of these movies can get to you. And there's like certain episodes of like when my kids were like really young, there's certain episodes of Law and Order I couldn't watch. Now that I can now, but I would kind of get to me then. At that, I'm a softie. Actually, I didn't know he had a cameo in Hard Target either. I gotta watch it again. But any movie that like, what's my thoughts on new Halloween Kills? Well, hopefully I get to see it. Um, I'm excited about it. I liked the 2018 Halloween film. I didn't think it was perfect, but I thought it was definitely a step above H2O, which was the last Jamie Lee Curtis like full one. What's my favorite Dario Argento film? Actually, it's Tenebrae. Tenebrae is my favorite Argento film, and by far and large, I like his Giallo stuff more so than his supernatural stuff, but I like them all. But yeah, with Dracula 3D being the least, but definitely Tenebrae. Strongly, strongly Tenebrae. And I'm right up there with that is like Birth, Crystal Plumage, which I think is a fantastic film and highly underrated work from Dario Argento. And Four Flies and Grey Velvet. What's that Weird Nights? Is a really good one as well. Creepers, otherwise known as Phenomenon. Fantastic films. I really wanted that. If the Arrow Video ever gets in more copies of like Phenomenon Creepers, that limited edition set, I am grabbing that. I think they will. I mean, like, Screen Archive has been like the main like source for buying like Twilight Time for a lot of people, and their out of files the same as the main guy that was. You got the rest of Jackie Chan's. What's the worst Argento film? Dracula 3D. Dracula 3D, and for a reason, basically because of the fact that Argento's getting older. But I don't think that was the reason. Basically, I think Argento was more in love with the 3D aspect of of making Dracula than he cared about the story or the plot or the actor or anything like that. He was obsessed with the technical part of it, and he got so immersed and so caught up in the technical aspects of making 3D. Do you think Giallo? You know what? I don't even remember Giallo. I know it's got Adrian Brody, but for the life of me, I don't remember the plot of it. So yeah, maybe we'll go with Giallo then, because Giallo I don't even remember. At least I enjoyed Dracula 3D for being like a so bad it's a good film. Giallo bored me. So yeah, I stand corrected. Alan's favorite Giallo movie is The Washing Machine, which is by Rigario Diodato, who's probably most famous known for Cannibal Holocaust. But I would rather watch The Washing Machine than Cannibal Holocaust. It is very dull. And I've said on this channel before, and I do stand by this, the worst thing that a movie can be is dull. Like you can be bad, you can have horrible acting, you can like phenomenal. You can have certain things that just make no sense, like the monkey with the razor blade. So, and you know what? And you're still having a fun time. But if a movie is so like just loses your interest, or it's dull, or it's boring, that's the worst sin that a film can do, because you're not engaged. And if you're not engaged, then the job's not done at all, and like in any way. I loved Bruiser actually. I wish that Bruiser would get a really good release. You know how I saw Bruiser? Because it didn't come to the stores, like the stores. It was back in VHS days. There was a store that was closing down, and it was this VHS like rental store. Behind the counter, they had kept all the screeners, right? That they had all the VHS screeners that they had there, and they said, okay, well, you know, we'll sell you a screener for $1 each, type of thing, or if you want to buy like a lot of them, like a whole like a box basically of screeners, we'll sell them to you for like 25 cents each. So I went in there and I like filled up boxes full of like screeners, and Bruiser was one of those actually. That's the last, and I don't have it anymore, but that's the last time I saw it, was as a screener copy, and I really enjoyed it. It was a different George Romero film, and George Romero gets known mostly for his zombie films, but he did a lot of good stuff that aren't zombies. I'm a fan of Monkey Shines as well. Halloween 6 is the best Halloween. I like Halloween 6. I don't know. I wish I worked in a video store. One of my dreams was to work in a video store, actually. But I didn't. I dated a couple girls who worked in video stores. But no, I bought out like video stores, like their screener tapes and stuff like that, back in the early days, back when it was just VHS. I love the Crazies. I like the remake too. The Crazies remake is actually one of those that does stand up. Timothy Olyphant is really good in it, and I just really like that film. No, my least. Oh, Halloween 6 is kind of, well, it's not my least favorite. My least favorite is the Rob Zombie ones. Like, you know, I'm not a big fan of those. They got their, no, I'm not treading on them. They have their fans. I'm not a fan of the director of Halloween 6, because he treated the cast like dirt. Say like or hate the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, and I didn't like Rob Zombie's Halloween films. The dude treats his cast well, and he knows his stuff. He's a Mother of Tears. I'm half and half of Mother of Tears, to be completely honest with you. It's one of those movies that I can watch it, I can enjoy it for what it is, but and there's a difference here. I'm a huge Giallo fan when it comes to Dario Argento. More so than like I love Martin. More so than the than Suspiria and Inferno, and I do love Suspiria and Inferno. But because I didn't have as much investment in like the third Mother film, it didn't bother me so much that it wasn't as good. I said it's all right. So it was okay. It didn't really. So let's see what else I got here. See, that's what I didn't like. I think, and I thought about this today because I was actually talking to somebody about Halloween 2 today. And the thing is, like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, I think that Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 could have worked extremely well if it he'd gone with his initial idea. Pelts doesn't meatloaf, and I'll actually mention it in a second, actually, because I have that here somewhere. Um, I because initially in Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie version, um, I'll definitely don't worry, we'll get there. I haven't forgotten the voting rights stuff, Chris. The initially in a Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Michael Myers is dead. He's come dead. He's not there. He's not back. He never comes back. It's like we see him, but what comes out, what's revealed is like basically that's in Laurie's head. Laurie's doing the killings. There's no Michael there at all. If you look at the film with that sensibility, then the idea of like a ghostly mother that is not at all like the mother in the first one, and him going around with like a half mask and a no mask and just makes sense. So if you can look at it from the fact that she's the killer and all of this is in her head, it makes a bit more sense because there's no consistency in the character of like of Myers or especially of the mom, right? So there's no consistency in the mother. But if you see it from the point of view of somebody of the girl that has never that has no memories of her mother, and is only like getting her life from like his book and her like experiences, like her traumatic experiences, then the whole film takes on a different take, and I can deal with that take actually. And I apologize if I'm missing out on some stuff here. The Rabbit. I haven't seen The Rabbit yet, actually. I'm a big fan of the Suska sisters, so I'm assuming I'm going to like it. From Dusk Till Dawn sequels are okay. All right, Chris, you want to know some slasher stuff? Maniac Cop 2 and 3, by the way. And people will tell you that 3 is not worth getting. It is. It is definitely worth getting. I actually really like these here. The Maniac Cop films, Chris, and I'm sure you probably got these already. The Blue Underground releases are really good. They've got some great, not just like audio commentary, but actually some making ofs. When a movie kind of goes as wrong as Maniac Cop 3 does, and it goes wrong in certain ways, then the making ofs are usually even more interesting to watch. So I would recommend checking out Maniac Cops 2 and 3. The original is from Synapse, so it's probably going to get a 4K release down the road, but definitely these two right here. As far as like other slasher stuff goes, New York Ripper, not a giallo. A lot of people think of it as giallo. I think this is a slasher film. That's my, it's my 25 cents on New York Ripper. The Maniac Cop is really, Synapse put out the first one, Chris, and parts 2 and 3 were put out by Blue Underground. But and Arrow, if you're region free, Arrow put out a release as well. But I think that's on, Arrow put out a good release too. So either way, you're good. And Toolbox Murders. This is the original Toolbox Murders. This is not the Tobe Hooper one. This is one that I didn't think I was going to like because it's basically it's a true story. But I actually dug this one a lot. Actually, I really like this one. Yeah, it's keeping it. Yeah, it does. It does. It's a good film. It will grow on you. Toolbox Murders is another one of those that did kind of completely grow on me, and I love this film. Cameron Mitchell, and Cameron Mitchell's good in this. Like you'll see a lot of Cameron Mitchell movies, and you can tell he's there, like he's making the movie, he's getting a check. He's not walking through it like a Jan-Michael Vincent would, but no, there's a great cast in this one too. Was Yuri's in this one? Anita Corset from the Andy Griffith Show, Marianne Walter was like an excellent adult film stars in it as well. So Chris, that's another one to actually try and check out. Well, their website is like, I think they're planning something big. They got 8 4K movies coming out. It is that one. Well, do you mean New York Ripper? Yeah, that's the one where he imitates Donald Duck, where he's like, where it's kind of the quacking thing. And there's a reason for it. It's like not just like not. There's no like. It actually makes sense. A man in uniform. I don't. I think I've seen. I don't remember that one. Survival Dead's okay. Not one of my favorites. It's a feature film. It was done in the 70s. I think was it 70s, 76, 74? What is it? 77. Okay, almost there. Yeah, directed by Dennis Donnelly. Actually, a really good film. Definitely worth checking out. A couple like not slasher films, but good releases that were put out by Blue Underground is Venom, which was a really cool one. It's got Oliver Reed, Sterling Hayden's in this one. This is Susan George right there. I gotta check out that man uniform film. This was another one where they did the big like 2-disc edition booklet and all that. Sexy cover. And he put out Deathline, otherwise known as Raw Meat, as well. These are really good addition to this one. Venom's a cool release to Nooch, man. It's definitely worth picking up. I would hold on to it. Are they? I'm not sure if they're limited released or not. Are they limited editions? Those they are, yeah, limited editions, right? I'd hold on to them for now. I'd grab if you're going to grab the 4K ones, like Ken, I'd say like definitely grab the 4K ones. Check it out, and maybe eventually you can use the lenticulars as like keep them as a second copy, or an on the go type thing, or basically you may want to sell them down the road or flip them, or you may want to flip them without the lenticular covers and just take a bit of hit on the price and put the lenticular covers on your new 4K releases. What do you think the 4K Maniac? So I've got someone here that's actually got the 4K Maniac. How big of an improvement is it over the lenticular release? Because I've been led to believe that it's a significant improvement, and not just in picture but in audio quality as well. That the Dolby Atmos soundtrack is definitely really good. So I would like your opinion on that, actually. And you can also answer a question for me again. The 4K releases, they didn't come with soundtracks, did they? Because I wondered about that. But because the way the 4K discs are done, the cases are done, I don't think the soundtracks are there. I could be wrong, but I figure you'll know for sure. So we can wait Ken's answer on how impressive the 4K Maniac is, and if it's that big of an upgrade from the lenticular release. He didn't, yeah. That's the thing. That means I may have to double over on a couple of those. Oh yeah, like like a bonus CD. Here. This is Maniac. It has 2 Blu-rays right here, right? And like one for the film, one for the extras. And I love the way this is done. This is the soundtrack CD for Maniac, in all its Joe Spinell sweaty glory. What did you watch tonight, man? And they come with the booklet as well, and I think there's a track list here too somewhere. Yes. See, there's a Maniac. There's like all the tracks from the CD. So 16 tracks. Oh, New York Ripper has a soundtrack CD as well. I think like the 4K one. Super Vixens and Vixens. Oh, yes, right. You got the Russ Meyer stuff, right? I love those. Vixens are my favorites. It's all in who you know. He's just got to know the right people. sort of. It's not a heavily like, what's the word? It's not something that's heavily like kind of. It's it's like there's certain laws that are really punished and certain laws that are just that are more lax, and it really depends on like on your on who you know and stuff like that too. I'm lucky that way when it comes to that. I don't have a lot of bootleg stuff. The only bootleg stuff I showed you, Alan, which was my CSI one. Someone lets you borrow. That is a cool person because those are cool. Those are cool films. Did you? One of the films on one of the discs. I'm not sure which one it is. There's a document, kind of a documentary that I think that Jonathan Ross did on Russ Meyer and Russ Meyer's films. So definitely get a loan of that one and watch it. That's actually pretty cool. I think it might have been an incredibly strange film like episode. That's okay, man. Yeah, I love the old Arrow logo. I miss it actually. I watch a lot of Arrow releases. I'm actually taking those movies. I'm taking those two Blu-ray Underground ones up to watch. Actually, I want to watch the Joe Spinell interview, Joe Spinell story tonight because I remember liking that a lot. It is incredible, like what an insanely talented person that Spinell was. Oh, the big one, right? The really big one like that, like it was like a longer one. It's getting there. I'm rehabbing it, so always doing my best when it comes to that. For those that don't know, I busted up my leg, and I ended up like I wasn't able to come down to the movie library for a long period of time because I couldn't get down over the stairs. But now I'm definitely doing my best. See, you're lucky, Ken. I'm still waiting for my Adamson set to get sent, by the way, which is pissing me off to no end. I really want that Adamson set like to come. I got the Ghastly Bundle of Horror. It should. I paid special element for shipping, so mine and I ordered on the first day, and mine's still not sent out yet. It's in processing, so hopefully it'll come soon. I have another set coming from called Epics from Unobstructed View. I gotta say, I dealt with Unobstructed View over, and like there's some backorder stuff. I was a pain in the butt to them. I know I was, but I would definitely give them high grades. So if you're in Canada and you've never used Unobstructed View before, when they have their sales on, it's really good. Just be patient right now. I wasn't patient enough. I know that much. So they must have like hated getting messages from me asking about films, but no, they were really great. I haven't done a lot with deep discount. I've done oldies.com. I don't think I've ever done deep discount, but I've looked at them. Do deep discount? Do they have like good like shipping stuff for Canada? Because that's the thing. Like where I'm in Canada, that's always going to be the thing with me. Like how is it going to be and I live in Atlantic provinces, which makes it harder and more expensive for shipping. But if the speed is good, then that's the main thing for me. I should hopefully get my Call It Epics one from Unobstructed View next week, and they sent out my Mondo Macabre today actually, so that should be coming fairly soon. And Severin better have my release sent out by next week. I'm just saying that right now. Oh man, my TV fell on my knee, but I had heard it before then. Actually, before I went to Morocco, I do collect. Actually, yeah, I do collect 8 and 60 millimeter film. Well, actually, 8 and Super 8. I don't have a 60 millimeter projector, so I don't. So I don't have any 60 millimeter films. But I do have both an 8 millimeter and a Super 8 millimeter projector and a Super 8 camera as well. So I do try to collect all the different formats that are out there. I do the ones that I'm missing, the formats that I'm missing there, that I still need. So I still need a CED, and I need a beta and HD DVD. I really like Ragman. I really like Black Candles. You like Jose Larraz? It's one of his sleazier ones. Like, know that going in. There's a lot of nudity. in this one. The ending you're either going to like the ending or you're going to feel gypped by the ending. I actually uh, liked the ending of Black Candles. I thought it was a really fun film. So I definitely would recommend it. I think it's a good one. Cassette player. Oh man, I love cassettes. I had like, remember Danucci, the little, the kind of like a suitcase, like cassette case. I had one of those when you're in college, and when I was in college, I had like one that had like like all these different cassettes and their soundtracks and cars and like all this type of stuff. I used to love those. Those were like some of my favorite things. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like I got a few other I got some other Blue Underground stuff. I didn't bring it over, but it's I got some other Blu-rays and DVDs over there. Like they put out stuff that could eventually come out on 4K right now. Stuff like there's if they still have the rights to them, like Stage Fright, for instance. I would love to see a 4K Stage Fright. I don't remember Revenge in the House of Usher. I think I've seen it, but I don't remember it. To be completely honest with you, a boombox would be good. I love that boombox again. But Stage Fright for sure would be a great 4K one. Shockwaves would be an excellent 4K. Did you feel gypped by the ending of House of Mortal Sin? You may feel I think it's worth it. I think it's definitely worth it. Have I ever restored a film myself? I have not. I actually at one point thought about early on back in the VHS days. I thought about opening up a label, a film label, and I was going to deal with way before there's companies like this. I was going to deal with genre and foreign stuff. That was going to be a lot of the foreign stuff, not like the classic Criterion foreign stuff, but more the sleazier foreign stuff. Shockwaves with the Nazi zombies. Yeah, that one. That needs a 4K release. I love seeing 4K that one. Uh, I'll definitely be picking up the uh, the Final Countdown when it comes out. I got the release of that, and I did like that film, so I'd grab that one. Met the director of Shockwaves. I love the fact that Shockwaves is a movie with Nazi zombies and has a guy from Flipper in it. That's just hilarious and on so many different meta levels. Shockwaves is a fun film. It's Peter Cushing, and it's one of those films that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's got those Nazi zombies, those underwater zombies, kind of creepy, and just a fun film. Oh, Lena Romay, then hell yeah, man. Anything Lena Romay, especially earlier Lena Romay. Some of the later stuff, she gets older and time and age. Like I've gotten older, but she looked better than me at at the age that I'm at. But no, but she's good. I like Lena Romay. She's got this kind of enigmatic quality to her. I want to do a Jess Franco video, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a Jess Franco video on a regular one or on an After Dark one. Hey Amy, welcome, man. What are your thoughts on the Twilight Time Screen Archives thing? Well, there's a lot of that's the thing. They were definitely focusing on the water aspect of it, but I dug that. I really did. It kind of. Any theories? That's actually a good question. I gotta rewatch it. You guys got me wanting to rewatch it. It's been a while since I've seen it. I don't have any theories. I don't. I really don't. But I'll do a review of Shockwaves down the road, and that's one of my ones that I want get a 4K release. I hope not, or my better half was definitely not watching that movie. I'm gonna say I'm no. I hopefully not. It's my favorite Twilight Zone episode. I don't know. I really don't. There's a lot. There's a lot of them actually. There's ones that stand out, like Time Enough Last and stuff like that. Well, there's just, but Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'll do a Twilight Zone episode one of these days because I'm a big fan of the show, and I'll give you my favorite 10 out of it. Tell you what, when I do a Twilight Zone episode, I'll give you my favorite 10 of the original series, the '80s series, and 2002 series. I do have the one Miss Call box set. It's really good. I gotta start watching them because I'm going to be doing a video on that actually on all three films. Serve man. Shout out Horror Video Film Company. Which one? Like I like Shout out Horror Films. I got to mention something geeky that's not uh, that's not movie related. Just for a second, and I'll get back to movies. I promise. Am I the only person, and I probably am on here, that is kind of excited about the Tony Hawk thing? Just wondering. For those that don't know, they're putting out a collector's edition of Tony Hawk 1 and 2, the first Pro Skater, the first two, and they're putting it out with a full size actual deck. Yeah, that's the skate. So the back in the day, the Tony Hawk games ruled the PlayStation 1 and eventually the PlayStation 2, but really the PlayStation 1, especially Pro Skater 1, 2, and 3. They are doing new remasters of the Tony Hawk games, Pro Skater 1 and 2. They're doing one for $99 with a deck. Now, I'm not quite sure if the trucks and wheels are going to be included or it's just a deck for display purposes. But I really want that there. I'm not sure. I'd probably just display the deck. It's been a long time since I've skateboarded. But yeah, I'm one of those guys. But I was very excited to find out about that. And there's such a great soundtrack on those. So I'm hoping that they got the rights to the original soundtrack for the new remaster. Because one of the things that you would find on like the early Tony Hawk games and the early SmackDown games too, they'd have such good music, such good soundtracks, and you could just like put the menu screen on and listen to song after song. Incredible stuff. Anyway, slight swerve there for a second. I was also a skateboarder. I'm guessing you're probably younger than me and still a skateboarder, but I haven't skateboarded in a long time. I skateboarded and I rollerbladed too, so there you go. Sometimes people find it hard to believe, but I'm actually a super hyper person. I know. I don't think he did a good job in his portrayal of Batman. I think initially I think he started to try. I think the gruff voice was a little silly, and it took me every time he tried to get like too deep into it. Then that it just didn't work. Like Christian Bale is a fantastic actor. Like, don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of stuff Christian Bale's done amazing work in. Batman's not one of those things. I never bought him. I mean, you had like what's his name, George Clooney, like kind of like walking through the role of like of Batman, playing George Clooney playing Batman, and I could still believe that a bit more than I could Christian Bale. And Christian Bale's such a good actor. It starts so good with the first film. By the second film, I don't believe Christian Bale is Batman. I don't believe him as Bruce Wayne either. But I do believe in the villains. The Aaron Eckhart and Heath Ledger did amazing jobs. When it comes to by the third film, it's the weakest Batman that you're ever going to see on screen, and I can explain that actually. You've got a Batman that is Batman for a very short period of time, by the way. just gives up. He just gives up. And they know his legs hurt. He can't do it. He's got his cane. Um, Till eventually he comes back. And well, I like the first film overall, right? I do like the first film, Batman Begins. I thought it was off to a good start. I still wasn't buying Christian Bale's Batman, and that's just me. Like for a lot of people, Christian Bale's their Batman, and that me not like Christian Bale's Batman takes nothing away from somebody else that likes Christian Bale's Batman. It's just my opinion. We've all got opinions. Michael Keaton was Batman for me. And the reason Michael Keaton was Batman wasn't because he was big or wasn't because he was muscular or ripped or anything like that. It was because when I looked at in Michael Keaton's eyes during Batman and Batman Returns, he looked like somebody. He looked like somebody that would put on a bat suit and go out and fight crime. I never got that from Christian Bale. Danush, give it another shot. See, if we lived in the same area, we'd crack a couple beers. I'm not sure if you drink, but if you do, we'd crack a couple beers. We watch the Batman Begins double feature, and I'd convince you. And it's the big thing is it's in the eyes for Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's a really good actor, and he's a really subtle actor. I like the Velcro Experiment, actually. That was a good film. There isn't a lot of subtlety to Christian Bale's, like, in the film. I'm good at that. Trust me, I'm very, very good at that. I may not convince you that Christian Bale's not a good actor as Batman. I'm not going to do that. But I would convince you to give another shot to Michael Keaton. I was vegan for not actually vegan. I was an active vegetarian for about 7 years. But hamburgers and hot dogs same calling. I wish I was vegan though. It's my one of my. I don't know. I don't think there should be sequels so much because the Velcro Experiment really said everything that it had to say. In my opinion, anyway. But yeah, for Batman, Keaton is a good actor, and Keaton's a great actor. It's all in the face. It's all in the face. And the whole different voice thing, by the way, that's what started with Keaton. He just did a better job of it. But here's the thing: everybody's going to have their own, and you're going to have certain things that are going to resonate with you. For me to tell you that Batman or The Dark Knight aren't good movies, I got 4K releases of those films, and I got Blu-ray special editions of those films. So I like those films. I do. I really like those films. But the two things that I don't like about Christopher Nolan's Batman films, and by the way, I think they're good films, is that Christopher Nolan doesn't understand Gotham. It's never a story. It's never a character in his films. I think the closest time it ever comes to becoming a character in his films is in the first one, Batman Begins, and he loses that in the other two films. And Gotham is a character. It is an important part of the Batman mythos, and he miscast Christian Bale, and I think he was a bit scared of Christian Bale. I think he should have reined him in as a director. He should have reined him in. He has that kind of distraction. There's always something else going on. There's always something behind the eyes. He's always somewhere else. He's always thinking. I liked them actually. I really liked them. Now I haven't seen The Corruption of Chris Miller, but Ken, good news. I actually got that coming in a trade. So Corruption Chris Miller. So I'm going to be seeing that very soon. I'm going to be doing a Spanish horror video, which I'm sure you're going to want to see down the road. I'm getting chilly down here. It's true. At one point, you have to remember, Batman went through a lot of different stages. But I love the '60s Batman stuff. Oh, Danny Elfman. No, no, no. Danny Elfman killed it with the score. Like, let's face it, the Batman Danny Elfman score, how much that was being used for years, for like a Flash, the TV series comes out, like a year later. What happens with that? Well, Danny Elfman. Batman the animated series comes out, heavily inspired by Danny Elfman. I don't think I've read Darkfall, but I would like to. Chronicle I enjoyed. I like Dane DeHaan, and I recently saw him in a Quibi series, well, kind of movie called Hey There, Monkey, in a Quibi series called The Stranger, which I really liked. There, you're very like. Are you saying, Brian, you're not a fan of Oingo Boingo? Is Weird Science not a song that you like? You gotta love Weird Science, man. It's so fun. But no, I love all the Batman films. I just love some more than others. And in the specifically in the films by Tim Burton, Gotham really plays a part. And no matter how much you don't like, you may not like the Joel Schumacher ones. And I don't blame Joel Schumacher, because people say, well, Joel Schumacher, like, he made it too light. And Joel Schumacher can't do dark. Have you seen any other Joel Schumacher films that aren't Batman? He's a dark guy. He did 8mm. But one place where you got to give Joel Schumacher credit, he did a great Gotham. Like, forget like the nipples and all that type of stuff. He did a great Gotham. Like, Gotham is a living, breathing city in Schumacher stuff. And I do get kicks out of him anyway. Even the silly, like Batman and Robin. It's a fun thing. Fun film. It wasn't too bad. I mean, like, he had his Batman, he had his Bat credit card. Don't go home without it. It is. It's stupid fun. Like, the one thing I'll say right now, again, and I said it here earlier on tonight, the worst thing that a movie can do is bore you. The worst thing that a movie can do is not engage you. You can have movies that are silly and crazy and they don't make a lot of sense, or the acting's there, or it's kind of crazy fun. And Batman and Robin's a lot of things. It's not boring. It's never a boring film. It's colorful. It's definitely popcorn ice cream. I have not seen that, but that's like, Anyway, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but it's gotten really cold down here in the basement. So you know what I'm going to do right now? I need some tea. I need some warm tea. Actually, I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I do. I thought he did, and better than Christian Bale. I thought Ben Affleck was great as Batman. But with that being said, oh yes, so I'm so cold, man. Daryl Gentle's trauma. I'll mention that in the next video, and I'll tell you what, Aiden, I will do a Daryl Gentle video in the very, very, very near future. I promise you. I am Aaron. This is my movie library. You are the call to cinema. You guys all rock. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff, and check out my Patreon if you want to as well. Have a great evening. I will see you soon. I'm freezing my butt off here. I need some tea. Have a great one. It's time for tea.